Hello my beautiful lights, we're in a different room, the sun is shining, so I thought we'd come in here and bring you some messages. My name's Lauren, I'm a master in energy, I'm a seer, meditation teacher, fitness instructor, mind, body and spirit in this life. So, what the angels want to say to you is quite a few things. Now somebody asked me yesterday, and I've got a hair, it's getting on my nerves. Somebody asked me yesterday, why do you use the cards when you don't need to? So the answer to this is no, I don't need to use cards. I see, I feel, I hear. The reason I use cards is because I have, I suppose a 3D would call it like an ADHD brain. It's constant. And I've got so many tabs open. It's like constantly. And when you can hear, feel and see, the cards given me an avenue to slow down, to introspect and to give you more detail. I don't need cards to do a reading. I don't need cards to see, to feel, to hear. I use them as a tool simply to direct a message, and that's the only reason. So the message that were coming through were quite a few things, you know, inspiration, but that's my dog, you'll have to excuse it because I'm in here. I've got cats and dogs, I love animals, there she is. She's just pootling along. On Sunday there was sort of a shift in frequency, a vibrational shift. And change came through, and putting all the pieces of the puzzle together I understood. Now I was put in a little bit of a tower moment. I had an injury in fact, and I was like, it was like a stab in my back. It was absolutely awful. I was working out to a high impact, I have to say. I was getting overexcited, and all of a sudden the universe said stop. And I was like, why has this happened? I don't injure myself, I don't get injured. But then speaking to my friend and getting this information, it wasn't like an injury as such. It was like a cord being ripped out, okay? It was like an attachment cord, but it was quite brutal. And a rebirth of frequency came afterwards. It was like an energy upgrade. I felt the shift. And we were talking now, birth in itself, when we go through an energetic shift and a rebirth of frequency, the reason I'm talking to you about this is because each chapter of growth we grow a little bit more, we get a bit more information. We were saying birth is not very comfortable for the baby either, you know, it's quite painful, and that was that point in understanding what it's all about. A message came from the angels, and what they said is, when we find peace, we shall hear the angels, we shall see them sparkle. And I was like, what? This is, you know, because I don't always understand, I have to sit with the frequency to get the message fully. And I was like, the inner peace allows the connection to a higher state of consciousness. And that's what they were talking about. Now, I don't stop, so the universe have told me to. They've said stop, and I've had to. I've absolutely had to listen, to tune in, because I'm a meditation teacher, but I'm always doing something. I'm writing meditation, I'm writing the book, I'm working, I work full time, I'm a mum, and I'm like juggling all these things at once and keep the harmony and the blend together. And what the universe is saying is stop. Take a pause. We want you to reflect in, because we want you to hear what we're saying. And you're going through rebirth of frequency. Now, this is a collective consciousness, and this is what we're experiencing as a collective consciousness. So, you know, I spoke to my energy master. She doesn't like me calling her that. Yesterday, and she's been bedbound for 2 days, for 48 hours, exactly the same as I was in my tower, in a different, you know, in a different energy. And we were like, this is a shift. And I said, it's almost like we're going through a DNA crystalline upgrade, and you can feel it, and it will happen in the root, because when we feel it in our root, in the bottom of our spine, for example, and she's had it in the same area, just in a different form, it's a release. It was like pulling a plug, like in the Matrix. It was ripping it out, and it was brutal. But it's like pulling a plug in the Matrix, and what happens then is your mind, body and spirit, you go through this shift. Now, when you're put in a tower, you can use that time for introspection. You can use that time to reflect in and hear the angels, which is why that message came through. You know, seek peace and you should hear the angels. They're messengers of divine source, God, whoever you want to describe them as. You know, the angel spirit guides are to bring the message. They're like the in-between realms. And it's the blending of the energies. Now, I said to you last week, I need to introspect. And because my world has been so busy, I haven't had the opportunity. So the universe has said, you are going to introspect, Lauren. We're going to make sure you introspect, and this is what we're going to do. If you don't listen, we're going to pop you here. So this is about the blending of energies. It's like as above, so below, as we spoke about last week, and the interlocking of these frequencies. Now, when the energy shift comes in, we're in a new world, right? That's what we're journeying towards. It's a change in consciousness. Excuse the planes, the rain. Again, we had a 1.2 solar flare earlier on in the week, and I noticed they've been out a lot. And watch the solar flares, because that's when you'll find they're coming out. They're in panic mode. So yeah, that came in as in the information, and they were talking about the blending of frequencies. Now, what also is happening is people are gaining a perspective. They're holding the wand of power. They're creating their reality, which is absolutely amazing. But it's learning to control the flames, learning to control the wand, the balance of the wand. You know, be open with your heart and expect the blessings that are coming to you. Now, what they also said is everything is shifting, as in every decision we make as an individual. This is a collective consciousness for every individual decision, because your journey matters and yours is independent to you, will then determine the route and direction of which timeline and which frequency, you know, you will experience. And when we've spoken about the tree and the different branches off, it all comes back to the main trunk. So everything is necessary, everything is divinely orchestrated. It just depends which you pick, because your free will determines the next step of your journey, as it were. So every choice matters, every single choice. So, you know, even the difference, if you fancy not cooking for a night and you want to go to the takeaway, and it's the difference between going to the Chinese or the Indian restaurant, you know, you could see somebody at that Indian restaurant. Do you see what I mean? Your soul is making these choices, and your soul needs to decide. Our soul decision determines everything. So if you feel a frequency and you really want to do something, but then you decide that you're not going to do that thing because somebody wants you to do something else, then you're giving your power away. And yesterday it was all about claiming that power back, right? I shared a short. I was very, very busy at work, but I had to speak to you about, you know, protection and claiming your power back. So every decision we make is going to impact and have a ripple effect on your existence. And this is what the angels were saying. So learning to control the fire, learning to control the flames is controlling the mental mantle as well. So when we hold this wand of power, our universal energies, we're writing our own script, as it were. We need to be holding the pen, absolutely, and write the correct script, but we need to also control what comes into our vibrational frequency. And I was like, okay, angels, I understand that. Controlling the wand of power is an art form. It's something learned. It's something that you're going to develop as you go. And you're going to understand, and this is self-growth, and this is your self-awakening, and it's absolutely beautiful. Hello, angels. Okay, yeah. The number 28 stands out, and I'm just going to grab the angel number cards to read you the explanation. They asked me to. You see, I've got all these notes here, all these hearts. It's beautiful. The number 28 stands out, and I didn't have my trusty journal in front of me. I have to drop them as they come, and I was just writing down. So we're going to read the number 28 and what the angel message is there. So my beautiful lights, I don't know what the number 28 is either. I've just been given a message, so I'm just going to clarify it with whatever it is. So bear with me while I find it. And let's also see, I'm always interested when we find the number 28, what cards are surrounding it. So 5-5, which is the change that we had at the weekend. And number 5 is the other side, 5-5-5. Oh my goodness, could you write it? Look at that. That's phenomenal. I love the synchronicity. So, number 28, in an effort to accomplish great things, you recognise the value of working with others. You make a capable and compassionate leader. who can bring people together and drive a team towards achievement. I am a leader. So it's about standing in your control and power. And we'll read 55 and 5. 55, substantial change is in your future. Embrace the change you need to overcome insecurities and let go of fears. I'm evolving. And this is about the evolution of self. This is about the evolutional energy within the collective consciousness. It's phenomenal. And number 5, flexibility is your forte. When life throws you a curveball, you can easily adapt to new circumstances and find the excitement in unexpected change. Be brave and bold in your endeavours. I am adaptable, and that's so very important. Now, curveballs are coming into our vibrational frequency. When we talk about the new world, it's not that these challenges and sort of hurdles will not come into your vibrational frequency, they shall, but it's how you learn to hurdle, right? And you learn to understand that these challenges are your biggest growth cycle, and that's the transmutation that we talk about. What else, angels? You just said something and I've lost it already. Bear with me, there's a message in the book. What message? You have to learn to move forward in the shadows because it's the growing process. Okay, yeah. So what they're saying there, sorry, there's notes everywhere. So what they're saying there is, even when life throws you a curveball, and that's the line they wanted me to read, which is there, I will show you, just there in my, it's just channeled. So when I write, my friends will tell you, I text as I speak. So it's like, blah, 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 blah. And this is why I've been using the cards. It's in order to control it. I have a better hold over it, absolutely. But when I've been reading even, you will have seen that it's so fast and furious that I have to get it out. And when I understand the mixture. And sometimes it's hard to forward that information without breaking it down first. And that's why I use the cards. So when it all interlocks, I can understand the web, but it's hard to explain the web. I have to sort of unweave it sometimes in order to direct the frequency. So that's why I use them. Do I need them? Absolutely not. So you learn to move forward, facing those shadows, growing from the process. And what they're talking about here is the substantial change, and the curveball is in order to learn to throw it, right? We hurdle, we use many different forms. It's how you transmute it. So things that were hugely significant in the past and probably were made to overwhelm you in the new frequency, in the new world, if that's what you'd like to call it, after this energy shift, they become manageable. It's simply just turning a page. You manage this frequency so much easier, and things that once overwhelmed will just be part and parcel of your day, and you don't sweat the small things. In the magnificence of the world, they become insignificant, and that's the difference. You know, they're not of magnitude anymore, they're of insignificance. It's just like, okay, I've got to do that, so we'll do it. And it's not even worrying about it. You probably do for a minute and then you're over it, which is fantastic, because that's the vibrational shift and frequency. So you can see my white streak on the camera. I am having my hair done. It needs doing, but I've been so busy. I've been prolonging it for too long, let's put it that way, and you'll see my lightning streak across my hair. So yeah, see how my brain works. It's like that all the time. Honestly, my partner said to me, we had a week off the other week, and they said they go back to work for a break. And I'm like, well, that's rude. So that's how energetic I am. We did climb about 6 cliffs up and down, and, you know, walked miles, and it's how I heal, right? I'm just energy. I'm high energy constantly, and I exhaust myself, so I'm sure I exhaust everybody else. But that's how my tuning works. It's like tuning a radio, and you're listening to about 4 different songs at once. And we're going to speak about that, because as you go and step by step, as you evolve in yourself, all of a sudden you're tuning this radio and you're hearing 2 songs play, and you're like, which am I listening to? You know, this is really, really confusing. you will learn to tune in to one. And what we need to speak about here, and it's very, very important, the art of meditation allows us to reflect into self. It allows us to find that inner stillness. And I wrote something about it here. Bear with me. So it's a state of consciousness. When a person goes deep within their self, they focus their mind by eliminating the outside influences. And when we go deep within ourselves, that's what we need to do. And it's to produce that deep inner state of ourselves. We're finding our inner light, we're finding our inner peace, we're finding the tranquil place within inside us. And I suppose what I do use the cards for, it's to gain that inner peace quicker. It's to give you direction and show you a visual. And with meditation, it's all about the art of allowing. So with a meditation, if you find a meditation later and your mind begins to wander and you start thinking what you're making for dinner or what you're going to do at the supermarket, anything like that, then you need to return to your breath. So breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, and see it as an energy flow. That way you gain your center and you get your inner peace once more, and it controls the mental mantle. Now in this new world, in this higher state of consciousness, we're learning to use the arts in such a way, our creative power, our wand is going to glow brighter, and you're moving forward with understanding and acknowledgement of what you do, who you are, and that acceptance of self. It's sort of like when the veil is lifted from you as an individual and you open yourself up and you just are who you are, your love. I literally shared it. Like I've got it on my top today. Love. I'm all about the love. I'm all about the love. And you don't apologize for who you are. You know, you're just simply beautifully you. That's when the vibration around you shifts, and that's when you will attract your soul tribe, people who love your frequency, and vice versa, like attracts like, and that's how it's going to work. Now I could talk all day, but I better get on with some work now. I've got some very, very beautiful and important events coming up. So if you would like to do an online event, however, if you'd like to learn the art of meditation, if you would like to go forward with your soul evolution, you know, drop me a message, because I'm thinking about doing some online classes, and this is so we can open up the world. And if you want to take a step at a time and you want some, you know, some direction, then that is what I'm here for. I would love to do those with you. So let me know below, because I just feel the vibration, and that's how we've got to work moving forward. And that means everybody can feel the frequency, everybody can evolve together, and the more of us there are, the better the state of consciousness, the more light we have entering our atmosphere, as it were, which is absolutely beautiful. So my beautiful lights, have the most beautiful day. I hope you've enjoyed this message. If you have, don't forget to like and subscribe, and you'll find us again, ring the notification bell, leave me a message and say hello and tell me what you're up to today. I love talking to you, I love hearing from you. You know, what's lighting your soul today? What are your passions? Where's your drive coming from? And we'll share our experiences together, because it's beautiful. So until next time, my beautiful lights, have a wonderful and the most abundant day in all forms. From the angels and I, from our heart to yours, lots of love. Bye bye for now.